Hey everyone, it's Matt, aka the Swinglishman, and today I'm going to be running through my mini sketchbook, doing a sketchbook tour. This is first time I've done this. I'm not sure how it's going to go. I'm going to flick through the pages and kind of talk about stuff that I want to talk about, and we'll see how it goes. So you'll notice actually that, the first part of this sketchbook I'm not going to cover because it's actually from a long time ago. I kind of picked up, I don't know about you, but I have a tendency to start sketchbooks, put them down at a time and then come back to them like months later and everything. So anyway, this sketchbook I started like probably about 5 years ago and put it down, and then I was looking for something to sketch with, obviously, and dug it out and started sketching in this over the past couple of months. So everything that I'll cover in this video is stuff that I've done with this with like a 1mm uni pin fine line pen, and pretty much everything in here is done with that, and yeah, it's just sketches from the past couple of months and what I've been doing, and maybe a little bit about my thought process and what I was trying to practice and what I'm trying to get better at. So pretty much with these first couple of pages, my whole idea with this sketchbook kind of turned out to be just experimenting with trying to get better at drawing people in proportion and everything. So I was just taking pictures from if you've seen other of my YouTube videos from this year, like I've been using reference images a lot from Pinterest and everything, so just literally like clicking on any picture that looked kind of interesting and then just going on a rabbit hole down through people with different poses and everything and just sketching them. So yeah, this is kind of the start of that. Quite small figures and everything, really simple and a little bit rubbish at the beginning. Just super simple, just trying to just put pen to paper, I think, at this point. Just keeping things really easy and messy and just making mistakes and just working through from page to page. Again, quite small figures, mostly at the back. One thing you probably see and notice through a lot of these pages is that I didn't really want to get too hung up on details in the face. I just wanted to, all I was looking at was like, okay, let's just like get arms the right length, proportions more or less okay, and to kind of build up more kind of muscle memory in terms of drawing people in poses. So obviously at the beginning I wasn't going for anything too complex. You'll notice a lot of these people are just like either like standing around or just walking, so very simple poses and different clothing and everything. And yeah, again, just people standing around, a little bit of landscape stuff here. That's kind of like the exception to the rule for this mini sketchbook. Again, just looking at kind of like maybe like simplicity with lines and just trying to get shapes right. And you can see like super sketchy lines on some of the bits here, like really sketchy, like unsure for me anyway. Like as I see this, I'm remembering like drawing some of these things, and it was just kind of, I wasn't sure what angle the line should be and all this kind of stuff, and so it's just really sketchy and a bit kind of rough. These first few pages, the whole thing's kind of rough, obviously, but yeah, again, just like super simple stuff, a bit of face things there. That's kind of nice, like that. Then saw a load of night pictures on my Instagram feed for some reason, so I thought there's some cool positions there, so I thought I'd sketch out some of those. I can't comment when I have something to comment on at this point. Yeah, some of these were just like sitting down watching a movie, and I was trying to quickly sketch things as they were going. So yeah, like scenes from a movie, just a character sat at a table and all that kind of stuff. Again, like a lot of kind of fashion things, like a lot of the kind of like modern, like high fashion things. They have some weird clothing and stuff, which is kind of interesting to kind of, I found personally kind of interesting to sketch, because it was like super long fabrics, and trying to get used to drawing that. Trying out some like silhouette stuff and little things like that. Again, all super rough, super sketchy, and then I think like at this point I was like, I noticed that a lot of my characters or people or whatever sketches, they were just like super like just standing, boring, no real kind of poses or anything. And so I thought, okay, let's do some more kind of action poses and get some more movement and try and express some movement a little bit with what I was drawing. So that's kind of what I see more now, like looking at dancing and some more like artistic stuff on Pinterest. And again, like just my main source of like drawing is just Pinterest. I like it because it's like you click on the picture and it becomes really big, and then you have a whole load of like recommendations beneath the picture that you've clicked on, and it's really easy to kind of get similar looking people in different poses, like similar style of character, similar style of clothing or whatever, and a whole load and a whole range of different things of the similar style. So you'll see here kind of like, you know, guys with like shirts and like dress pants on, dress trousers on, like blazers, ties and things like that. That's quite common throughout the rest of this sketchbook. Quite like this little silhouette thing of a guy, maybe like a priest or something on a beach with a cassock on or something. Yeah, pretty cool. And again, just trying to get more movement in and play around with different forms and stuff, and get some of those a bit closer up, and still super sketchy. And I really like this one at the top. I felt like it was efficient with the lines, but expressed enough of the body, like he's got a bit, you know, he's got like a bit of a podge. And yeah, like I like it. It's cool. And also, like, one thing I have a massive issue with in this sketchbook is feet. You see, either I hide the feet, I don't draw the feet like this one here, I just like hid it behind the thing, or they're just completely naff and wrong, and they just look like massive sausages on the end of the legs and stuff. So yeah, I should, you know, practice drawing feet. Yeah. So yeah, I was quite happy with these pages as I was going through them. It was kind of cool. Like here, the arm, tried to accentuate like the arm under the blazer on the other side. Kind of cool. Some old guys like sitting down and smoking cigars, and then I think this on a train, so this was probably people that I saw on the train. And like normally if I'm sketching these kind of things, or what I was doing before here, this would have been at a table and I would have taken time. And I think like with this stuff, it's all on the go, so I have the feeling like it's a bit more sketchy. And I don't know, because whenever I get the sketchbook out in public, or you know, on the train or whatever, I'm always, I don't know, I'm like pretty nervous about getting it out and sketching, because you probably assume that people are watching you and thinking what you're drawing, and is he any good and all this kind of stuff, when in actual fact nobody gives a fuck, nobody cares. So yeah, I should get over that and just take my time when sketching outside, and get the sketchbook out more when I'm outside as well. Then some eyes. I always like drawing eyes. And he was kind of using the directions of the lines to express the volumes, which I think works best kind of in this bottom one here, where like the under the eye is a bit puffy and the curved lines to accentuate that, and then the lines here on the side of the nose, the lines here on the side of the nose to kind of accentuate the building up to the bridge of the nose and all that kind of stuff. I felt like it was kind of nice, and yeah, I suppose you can kind of see the thinking here. I just started off with just almost shading on the top of that eye, and then here I was like, oh, I could express volumes with the lines, and then there's like really like step 3 of doing it, and then a failed attempt at someone with what looks like a severe case of conjunctivitis or something like that. Then yeah, moving on. I really like this one. This was a painting, I think, from somebody. And yeah, it was really cool. I liked it, and I felt like with this shading, got a sense of the depth, and also on the previous page, using the lines to express the volume, like the shape of his back and the tightness around the waist of the waistcoat and things. At the time, I was happy with that. It's pretty cool, and these two as well. Then some period pictures showed up on the Pinterest feed, it looks like, and then drawing some more elaborate dresses. And then there was a whole load of like falling photography of like people on trampolines, and they're falling and trying to express the falling, that sensation of falling through all weightlessness, through things like, laces coming up, hair going everywhere, and things like that, and just the body from different positions as well, and just trying to get my head around and getting used to what goes where and the shapes and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, super simple line stuff. It's quite nice, like expressive, but with like hardly any eyes, but not eyes, hardly any lines on the face. Quite like that one. Trying to draw someone from like a top angle looking down, but the perspective's all completely wrong, so it just looks like weird and out of proportion. Again, like weird positions and leaning back, sat on chairs, awkward standing, super baggy clothes, like playing with getting my head around like pleats and folds in clothing and everything. And here, I was quite happy with this one actually. There's like this lady from a Renaissance painting or something on the floor with a crow, and I like how you have the sensation that it's almost like drawing drapery. The dress coming down the steps. I thought it worked relatively okay there. I was quite happy with that at the time. Again, like silhouettes and simple shapes and hats, masks. Then I was looking at like Renaissance and like drawing multiple people, long and baggy clothing as well, robes and what's the word? Togas and things like that. Yeah. Some hands here. Again, you'll see like when I draw hands, it's like super simple, not too much detail, like, because I don't know, it's just one of those areas like faces and hands are like super detailed and obviously complex and convey a lot of emotion and a lot of the message of a picture. Maybe like if someone's pointing or kind of gesturing or something like that, it draws your eye to certain areas of the picture and everything. And for this, I didn't want to get too bogged down in the details of hands and faces and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of the time I'll just have, like I've done here, just like 2 lines, like a rough location of where the person's looking. And yet here, in spite of what I just said, here I was just drawing some hands. Just having a play and trying to get a simple outline to be able to quickly sketch in hands with some kind of gesture. But yeah. There's a picture of Narcissus looking at himself in the water. Yeah. Some royalty, some regal pictures, lots of like hanging fabrics, complex things. And here I thought, well, I'll give it a go, and quickly decided, no, I'll go back to guys in jackets and backpacks and things instead of medals and all the pomp and circumstance that comes with regal dress and everything, crowns as well. Yeah, super simple again, just sketching. One of my daughters does judo, and so quite often I'll sketch at judo. Again, because it's a kind of a weird clothing, so it's like loose on the top, tight in around the belt, and then loose again for the trousers and everything with the gi. So it's kind of an interesting thing to kind of try and get my head around. And like I say, again, you can see I'm out. I'm a little bit self-conscious when I've got the sketchbook out, and so I'm just quickly like getting things down on the paper and everything, and I'm not comfortable, and you can see I'm not like as confident as I would be, doing something at home on the desk, sketching away. So it's just super quick and not great. I'm not as happy with the stuff that I do outside. And then trying to simplify the lines and just be, I don't know, here it looks like I was like trying to not take the pen off the paper and things, and just keep a kind of flow, which is kind of nice. Like doing these, I think like the center line and the contouring here gives a bit of a better sense than what I've done previously. Like here, that arm there just looks super flat because it's just the outlines of it. Whereas here it's like you've got a center line that runs down, and you can see a kind of bit of a fold here, and I thought it worked quite well. And I actually went into a tiny bit more detail there with the face. And although it's kind of weird proportions, his head's way too small, for some reason it still kind of works. Yeah. Like a big guy. I think that was actually an AI generated chef or something that I was drawing from. Loose shirts, cigarettes, arms up in front of faces and things. Weird poses. Another eye. A dress. First time. Long trench coats. Here was like again, just I feel like I'm discovered at this point, like drawing in creases, and I think later on I kind of figure out you can use as you're drawing in the creases, you can use it to kind of give a sense of shape to stuff. So here, like the leg, I'll zoom in there, like the leg, as the lines kind of flare out from the inside of the thigh, gives a sense of like volume to the leg or whatever. I thought I was figuring something out there. Anyway. And then here, like details on the trousers to kind of give a sense of like the weight of the fabric on the leg. Figures. Like slightly more complex, and then like much simpler when we're back to sketching outside in another week of judo practice, I think. Then this was a kind of weird one actually. I had like a whole load of on Pinterest in my feed. There was like Japanese guys that had gone out drinking and just fell asleep in the street, and someone had just taken a whole load of pictures of these guys in like really nice suits and everything, absolutely hammered and just fast asleep on pavements, in trains and things like that. But yeah, made for some really weird positions and some fun drawing as well. Some more falling people, weird positions, weird positions again, running with a trench coat. Again, you can see like feet are kind of way off. Some samurais. Again, it's cool because it's like loose stuff that's held tight at certain points. So it's like a loose top with a tight belt, and then like the long legs, the longer I don't know what it's called, like the dress section at the bottom. Interesting to draw. Some different positions and stuff. Running and some boxing. I was quite happy with this figure. With those legs, I don't know. Like his legs are probably a bit too long, but for me, I felt like I got the proportions pretty good there. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Yeah, and then I was looking at like workers and harnesses and things, and some more complex stuff with weird pockets. Again, this is kind of like high fashion stuff that pops up on Pinterest, where it's got pockets everywhere, and like it's like pseudo utilitarian outfits and things, which are just completely impractical, but they're made to look like they're super practical. When in actual fact, if you put like things in pockets there, I mean, come on, it's going to be pretty uncomfortable. There you go, judo. I thought that was the best judo picture, I think. Again, more kind of like weird utilitarian outfit stuff. There's some fencing. I thought that was quite cool. Like, if you look at photos on Pinterest or whatever of like Olympic fencing and stuff, it's kind of, they get some really amazing pictures and like a real sense of movement in the photos, and trying to get that onto the page with your pen and everything is an interesting challenge. Then I found a course on Domestica by, I think his name's James Fox, and he was suggesting drawing mannequins and everything, and it was him that got me onto like contouring and center lines and things like that, which I now notice in previous stuff that I'd drawn, but that I try and do a little bit more consciously now with the sketches that I do, to kind of express a bit more, you know, as I say, like kind of volume with it, with my drawings and sketching and stuff. So here, like this falling guy, like this center line is quite easy to do with like suit trousers, because you can have the center lines just deplete down the center, so it kind of makes sense. And like the bunching on the knees, typically, like as you bend your legs as you're sat or you're walking and everything, you get like quite pronounced bunching at the inside of the knees and everything, and you can use that as an excuse to, or I use it at least as an excuse to kind of accentuate like the volume of the leg as it's in the picture or whatever. And he also talks in the course about overlapping and like how that gives also a sense of depth. It's actually a pretty good foot, if I'm going to be honest. I'm quite happy with that. And develop some kind of like weird foot fetish or whatever. Then I was trying to, because all of these characters are kind of just in a void, you know, they're all just posed in a void, and so I think for the next few pages or whatever, I'm trying to put people in situations like reading a book at a table, or jumping off a small wall or something like that, and snooker or table, pin up a girl in a long dress, but with the perspective of like a fence or something that she stood on, I think it was in the picture. Then kind of thinking about storyboarding and how like you could like a kind of one shot, like you pan up of the dead guy on the floor to the guy that did the killing to the dead guy's teammates or whatever, and then like pulling into just a shot or whatever with a bit of dialogue or something. Or like here, you start off with a close-up of the guy, then it pulls out, and then you pan down, you see the gun, or something like that, and then just some painting with a load of figures. And drawing outside. Again, like too self-conscious, trying to quickly sketch things before people have a chance to see that I'm drawing or something, and as a result, it's pretty crap, you know. I'm not happy with I think it was these three that I drew outside, and then some busts from a museum in Scotland. I was just in Scotland and drawing some stuff there. I wanted to do more drawing in the museums that I went into, but I didn't. I was too self-conscious and nervous and didn't get it out, and as a result, that's now a regret that I'll take with me to my grave. And yeah, so there's like a lot of we visited Edinburgh and things like that, so there's a lot of kind of old statues, Victorian dress and all this kind of stuff, and so I was like looking at some pictures on Pinterest of that kind of thing, and Highlanders and kilts and things like that, musketeers and again kind of kilts and Highland dress and stuff. And just one more empty page, well, two more, and then I don't know about you, but like it's always like the last couple of pages where it's always just like pen scribblings and stuff like that. So yeah, just got the last couple of pages to do. That one's finished, and then I'll be on to a new sketchbook. All right, so I thought at the end I'd make a little appearance, and that's the end of the mini sketchbook tour, and soon I'll just finish off those last couple of pages and then it's on to the next one. Let me know what you think, if you thought that was a pretty crap tour of a sketchbook. I think it probably was, as it was the first one, so yeah, let me know what you think and what I should work on for the next sketchbook. That's probably a good thing. I have a few things, feet for one, faces and hands and everything, so but yeah, let me know what you thought. Thanks a lot, guys.